Tiger Stadium in Detroit, Michigan, a game between the Baltimore Orioles and the Detroit Tigers. A beautiful, sunshiny day in Detroit, Michigan, and a big crowd on hand. Hi, everybody. Curt Gowdy with Tony Kubeck. Welcome to another game of the week. Today, and also we'll be here on Monday night's game between the two teams that have been going steady around first place in the American League East. Baltimore won the opener last night. They're now one game in back of the Tigers. You know, Tony, we get the word crucial series. It's overdone in baseball. This is an important series, though, and 150,000 fans are going to be watching it. We'll have around 40,000 a day. Monday night's game is a complete sellout, over 50,000. How about matching up these two clubs physically?
Curt, it boils down to in any important series, as this one is, pitching and defense. Neither team has been hitting the ball very well. They've been going with their pitching. And also the defense. Yesterday in the ball game, 3 unearned runs for the Baltimore Orioles. They won it 3-2. To me, the right sides of these infields are important factors or phases of this team to watch. Brooks Robinson at third versus Aurelio Rodriguez. Brooks getting old, but a great third baseman. Rodriguez coming up with 2 brilliant plays last night. Eddie Brinkman versus Mark Belanger. 2 great defensive shortstops. And the series could be determined. This 4-game important series on that side of the infield.
You've also got 2 very sharp managers going against each other, Earl Weaver and Billy Martin. They go against each other on the field and off the field. I want to talk to them about some of the quotes I've been reading about as they stab away at each other.
Well, I'll tell you, you're getting our writers so mad that we win a ball game for crying out loud. They talk to you. They come back over to me. They're so mad they can't see straight.
Well, then they come over and tell me things that you say, and I get so mad at them, and I know you haven't been saying all those things.
Well, maybe some of them, maybe not.
Maybe I'll interrupt you, man. You guys have been grabbing away. All right. I've been reading all these quotes all year. I just want to trace some of them down. When he traded Frank Robinson of the Orioles, you said this gave the Tigers the American League pennant.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, and Earl, I want to thank you.
Well, that's all right, but they're still going to make us play 154 this year. I don't know whether it's worth it playing it or not.
Then I read somewhere where you said that Martin is smoking a pipe with number 1 on it, and that sort of displeased you.
I think it was Cop at New York told me he had a pipe with number 1 on it. He asked me if I had anything like that. I said the only thing I got is when we won the playoffs in '69 against Minnesota, they gave me a ball with a gold number 1. I used that for the past 3 years.
What kind of a manager do you think Martin is?
He's a fantastic manager. The Detroit Ball Club wasn't close, I'll say that. And he manipulates the players similar to the way I do.
Of course, you have trouble trying to win another pennant.
Well, no, I'm having trouble right now trying to win our 4 straight.
4 straight? That's very good. Now, you say that in the World Series, you're going to try and get him a good ticket. Is that right?
Yeah, I was teasing like that. The only 2 people you like, I like Earl very much. I think he's one of the best managers in baseball, and should have been the manager of the year many times, but the voting's kind of crazy, you know? This is the United States.
Yeah, that's right. How about that seat in the World Series?
Well, I think I'll have it in the Baltimore dugout is what I hope. I'm hoping.
Are they going to put a TV set in the dugout?
I knew he'd say that.
All right, gentlemen, shake hands, come out fighting. We'll be right back with round 1 as baseball's game of the week continues from Tiger Stadium in Detroit as the Orioles meet the Detroit Tigers. We're going to change things a bit today and give you the batting order of the home team. For the Detroit Tigers, leading off will be Tony Taylor at second base, Aurelio Rodriguez at third, Al Kalines in right field, Bill Freehan batting cleanup catching, Willie Horton in left field, Paul Giada is the first baseman, Mickey Stanley in center field, Ed Brinkman the shortstop, and the pitcher is Lolich. And regarding this Tiger batting order, before the game, I talked to a young man about the Tiger lineup, and he should really know something about it because he is Billy Martin's son. This is the manager, Billy Martin's son, Billy Joe. I've got the lineup card here today. Billy, do you ever talk to your dad about the lineups, who he should play and who he shouldn't?
No.
Who's your favorite player on the Tigers?
Bill Freehan.
Why do you like him?
I just do.
Who else do you like?
Willie Horton.
Willie Horton. You ever go down in the locker room and get to meet the players and talk to them?
Yes.
Good, huh? And you don't second guess your dad. You don't argue with him about who he plays.
No.
You must be a good son. That's Billy Joe Martin, young Martin family, who also is quite a baseball man. Now let's take a look at lineup now. The visiting Baltimore Orioles leading off in right field. Merv Rettenman. Playing first base, Bobby Grich. Paul Blair's in center field, batting third. Don Baylor in left field, hitting cleanup. Brooks Robinson at third base, hitting fifth. Dave Johnson at second base, batting sixth. Andy Etchebarren is the catcher, hitting seventh. Mark Belanger, the shortstop, batting eighth. And Dave McNally pitching today for the Orioles. He's had some arm trouble, Tony.
Also, Curt, that arm trouble stemming from some muscle spasms in his back. Dave said he was going to warm up before the ball game. He has missed one start since he pitched a week ago. And he said if his back does not loosen up, he may tell Earl Weaver for Earl to get somebody ready early.
And a week ago, he beat Mickey Lolich 3-1. These two pitchers were matched up against each other last Saturday. Lolich then started with 2 days rest and won another game. So you really have two of the very best left-handers in baseball going at each other today. Lolich for the Tigers and McNally for the Orioles. The umpires today, Lou DeMuro is behind the plate. Bill Deegan at first base. Larry McCoy at second base. And Jim Honeychick at third. We have a pretty fair breeze today, blowing from third base out towards, I bet Weaver and Martin are talking about the little pregame bit they did. Weaver said, we don't want to be Lum and Abner or Frick and Frack. I said, just get up there and talk a little baseball.
They're kind of friendly enemies, I guess. As soon as they hand the lineup cards to the umpire and the little bit of the discourse that goes on, the little familiarities and friendly chatter, when they turn their backs and run away, they are no longer friends. I'll guarantee you that. They're both very fiery, temperamental, say what they feel, tinge of controversiality, but just good, sound baseball men, basically.
Let's take a look at Tiger Stadium. It's a hitter's ballpark and usually affords exciting games. The stands are within reach. Tony played here for years. They're in reach and left, deep in center, Tony, but in reach and right center and very short down the right field line.
Right center and left center are the places where most home runs fly out of this ballpark. There's a little overhang that you see down in that right field corner that actually juts out about, this is the second deck, juts out about 10 feet into fair territory, extends over the lower stands. Norm Cash, of course, not playing today because he's being platooned, but that's his favorite spot. So Roger Maris hit quite a few home runs in that area, especially the year that he hit the 61 to break the roof record.
If you didn't get last night's scores, Baltimore beat the Tigers 3-2. Milwaukee and Boston were rained out. The Yankees stopped Gaylord Perry 1-0 over the Indians. Texas beat California 7-3 in 11 innings. The White Sox defeated Oakland 6-5, and Minnesota stopped Kansas City's 5-game winning streak, winning 2-0. In the National League, New York, within 3 percentage points of Pittsburgh, defeated Montreal 7-3. The big story in the major leagues right now is the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll talk about them later. They beat the Phillies 4-1. The Cubs over the Pirates 4-3. Atlanta 5, Houston 2. The Giants playing their best ball of the season, down the Dodgers 8-4. They've won 6 of their last 7. And San Diego in 13 innings beat Cincinnati 4-3. As Mickey Lolich steps up on the pitching rubber to start his warm-up plant, this big crowd of over 40,000 will come to its feet and we'll have the playing of our national anthem. Mickey Lolich, 12 wins, 5 losses. Last year he won 25, the leading winner in the major leagues, and he is the workhorse pitcher of the major league. He pitched 376 innings last year, the most any pitcher's worked in the American League since 1912. And he's always been rather in a shadow, though, in the American League. The year McLean won 31, Lolich didn't get the credit due him. And he went in the World Series. McLean had a big year here with the Tigers, one of the greatest years a pitcher ever had in the major leagues. And then last year, Vida Blue drew the headlines while Lolich was ripping off 25, Blue won 24.
Of course, the controversy goes on as to whom should have won that Cy Young Award last year. Billy Martin and Mickey Lolich have been very outspoken, saying they thought that Lolich should have won it. Lolich can be overpowering with his fastball, slider, and curveball, or he can finesse you to death. He's a pitcher.
And a Michigan boy leads off for the Orioles, Merv Rettenman, who was born in Flint, Michigan, about 65 miles here from Detroit, batting .246, 4 homers, 11 RBI. Sends a bounding ball foul. Tony talked before the game about these third basemen. You have the 2 best here defensively in the American League today. Rodriguez with the Tigers, the younger one, and Brooks Robinson, who's been the king of the third baseman. We'll see what kind of opportunities they get today. 1 strike to Merv Rettenman. A ball. Everything Lolich throws moves, swerving, darting, dancing. And he is a mean competitor on the mound. A changeup, ball, 2, strike 1.
And if you're watching on color TV, you have a chance to see some of those new colorful gloves some of these teams are using. The blue glove of Mickey Lolich.
Pitch to Rettenman. Well bounded to Rodriguez. He has a great arm. Right on the mound. Powerful arm on him.
Let's watch again as Rodriguez comes charging hard, well in on the glass, bare hands the ball. He really kept that head on, fouled the ball right into his hand, and he has one of the most powerful arms in baseball. He throws to Jada at first base.
1 out, and 22-year-old Bobby Grit was born in Muskegon, Michigan, lives in Fresno, California. He's hitting .275, ball 1. We told a story a week ago about a veteran scout in baseball saying that he had to scrap all the team and start over. Here's the #1 player he'd pick in America to build a team around. And he sends a high pop up to the infield. Tony Taylor in the sun having trouble and finally grabs him. The wind bothered him too.
Pretty unusual too. You can see how a ballpark, the wind gets to swirling. The wind is actually, according to the flags, high up in the sky, blowing from the left field corner to the right field foul pole. This ball actually went the opposite direction. The sun and the wind bothering Tony Taylor.
We'll talk more about Grit in the ball game and his versatility. Paul Blair hitting .239, 4 homers, 27 RBIs. A strike. The Baltimore batting, in fact, all the batting in the American League has been a puzzle. The leading home run hitter on the Orioles is Don Baylor with 7. A ball, and incredibly, Tony, the American League champs the last 3 years, favored again this year, have the lowest batting average as a team in the league, .216. In the major leagues, in fact, both leagues. Fastball right by him, 1 and 2.
Well, all the Orioles, including Earl Weaver, will tell you that they're very happy to be in the position they are. Just barely trailing the Detroit Tigers. They've been doing it almost strictly on pitching.
2 down, nobody on, the 1-2 pitch to Paul Blair. He sends a drive in the alley in deep left center. And that ball is flagged down by Mickey Stanley, who caught up with it. Stanley, one of the great defensive center fielders in the game. Hard to get a ball by him. 3 up, 3 down. And now the Tigers are coming up in the last half the first inning. Dave McNally has won 20 or more 4 consecutive years in a row. He has 8 wins so far this year. We're not halfway through, so he has a chance for another 20-game year, Tony.
excellent control, as we all know. He reminds you a lot of Whitey Ford, a gutsy pitcher, good curveball. Actually, his fastball is not outstanding, but with the slow curve and the change of speeds, his fastball looks very good to some of these hitters as they gear themselves with a slow curveball.
Veteran Tony Taylor starts it off for the Tigers, hitting .308. 1 homer, 7 runs batted in. Billy Martin maneuvers his players a lot. Platoons, uses 5 outfielders. He has a veteran team, and he's trying to keep them fresh during a long season. Taylor, Rodriguez, and K-line. Starts him off with a curve for a ball. McNally has given up just 2 walks every 9 innings he's pitched this year. Outstanding control. His back could be bothering him today. We'll watch him closely, and Weaver will not mess around getting somebody ready. Rounding ball to shortstop Belanger. 1 away. Aurelio Rodriguez batting .245, 2 homers, 23 runs batted in. A lad of Mexican descent.
Talked about defense and, of course, the right sides of these two infields, but we saw Mickey Stanley in last inning with a great running catch. And Paul Blair in center field, as we look at that right side, also a fine defensive center fielder. Curt, he plays about as shallow as anybody you want to see play center field.
We'll watch him today out there, Paul Blair. He has confidence in going back on a ball. 1 out, nobody on, no score. 1 ball, no strikes to Rodriguez. 2-0.
You saw Pearsall, who also played that center field very shallowly. Dom DiMaggio, I guess he played a pretty shallow center field.
Very shallow. The 2-0 pitch. Rammed hard to shortstop Belanger. Nice pickup. He throws there, and they're 2 down. And you're going to see 2 outstanding shortstops today. That's why they're both up around first place. They have the defense. Telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball, intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, description, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner of Baseball is prohibited. Al Kaline batting .246, 2 homers, 13 RBIs. A ball to him. Hasn't hit much. He was an outstanding hitter in spring training, and the strikes seemed to throw his timing off. But he is still a standout defensive player in right field, and he still could get going in his batting. And now he's been behind every batter, 2-0. Al Kaline has played in more games than any active American League player. This is game number 2,543 for him. A lot of ball games. The 2-0 pitch. 3-0. 4-game series. The Orioles grabbing the opener last night. The Tigers are 1 game ahead of the Orioles in the standings. 3-1 to Kaline. On deck, Bill Freehand. He walks him. Bill Freehand has been the steadiest hitter for the Tigers, who have a team batting average of .230. One hitting .230, the other team .219. Yet in first and second place. Freehand with 4 homers, 31 RBIs. He had a grand slammer in Boston Thursday night, as the Tigers erupted for 8 runs in the 9th inning to win. Kaline at first, 2 down. Curve is inside, and McNally's not sharp.
And we've been talking about this Orioles defense. Let's not forget a Gold Glove Award winner at second base today, Davey Johnson. Now you've got Rich at first base, who is a shortstop by trade.
Foul, 1-1.
The thing that surprises me about this Oriole defense, remember when the trend used to be toward quick infielders, short infielders? Every one of these 4 infielders for the Orioles is 6'2" or over. All almost 200-pounders except Belanger.
Well, they're rangy. It's just a sign of the times. The athletes getting bigger and still with speed and agility in all sports. 1 ball, 1 strike. Change up, 2-1 to Freehan, no advance. Bobby Grich, that you're looking at right now, number 3, played second base last night. He has played shortstop, third base. He can play the outfield. That's why that veteran scout would pick Grich to build a club around, because he can play 4 or 5 positions and all capably, and is a good hitter, and he's young. He'll be a star of the future. Reaching for the high fastball. 2-2. McNally's fastball has been his best pitch so far. On deck, we have Willie Horton. Two pitch. 3-2. 2 outs. K-line will be running.
McNally has been throwing quite a few pitches high in the strike zone, and very dangerous to pitch in any ballpark, but especially here in Tiger Stadium, where the ball carries so well and the dimensions are so short in right and left center field.
K-line on the move. K-line is coming to third. Blair goes to second base, and the Tigers have runners on first and third. This is an all right-handed batting order today for the Tigers. 2 outs. Willie Horton, the batter, hitting .250. 6 homers, 12 runs batted in.
Can be murder on left-handed pitchers. The right-handers usually try and feed Horton a steady diet of breaking ball. Of course, McNally's breaking ball will be breaking into the power of a Willie Horton.
Pops it up. In right field, Bretman is under it. Now the wind drifted back a little bit. He has it, and that's it. No runs, a hit, no errors, 2 left at the end of the first inning to score 0-0. Don Baylor, born in Austin, Texas, still lives there. 23 years old, quite a football player. Shows baseball as his career. Hitting .258 with 7 homers, 17 runs batted in. He's been in a slump. He started the season well, but he's had only 2 hits in his last 31 times up. Chopper, this will take a great throw. Rodriguez snaps it, and he's got him. Close play. Taylor can run.
Here comes Rodriguez once again. One of the tough plays for any third baseman defensively. You've got to feel the ball thrown, all one graceful, quick motion. Baylor can fly. Rodriguez still got it.
Brooks Robinson way out in front in the voting as the starting all-star third baseman. Batting .253 with 2 homers, 27 runs batted in. Fastball right over the knees for a strike. That's Lolich's pitch when he keeps that ball down. Foul bag. He's quick this inning. Strike 2 to Brooks Robinson.
Very seldom will you see a Mickey Lolich fastball break the same way. He'll come from the side a little bit, and it'll really dart into a left-handed hitter. Then he'll come a little more over the top, and the ball may sail or slide in on your fists if you're a right-handed hitter. Ball's moving in the strike zone all the time, a live arm.
He curved him, has wrapped the second baseman Taylor. They're 2 down. Dave Johnson batting .225, 1 homer, 13 runs batted in. Dave is a golf pro in the off-season. I asked him how he was hitting. He said, well, I'm hitting a golf ball better than I am a baseball. He's had only one hit in his last 22 times up. He has to hit better than he is because he's been consistent. He had 280 in 69, 281 in 1970, and 282 last year. By 1989, he should be batting 300. 1 point a year up. Strike. 1-1 to Johnson. 2 out, nobody on, and no score. You can see the big crowd today in the center field bleachers, soaking up the sunshine. Hit sharply to shortstop Ed Brakeman. And the Orioles again are down 1-2-3. At the end of an inning and a half, no score.
In this morning's edition of the Detroit Free Press, there was an interview done by the first female reporter, sports reporter here in the Detroit area. We asked her how Dave McNally received her.
The interview went very well. Dave was extremely relaxed. We had coffee together in the hotel at the Sheraton Cadillac where the Orioles are staying. He was naturally curious about why I'm a sports writer, but my job is to interview him, not he to interview me. He was...
That was Jackie Lapham, first gal reporter here with the press scores of the Detroit Free Press.
Oh, Jota has a strike on him. Loops one out in the left, and that ball is off the glove of Don Baylor. Jota's in the second. Safe.
In last night's ballgame, as we look at this Baylor trying to come in from left field, there was a soft spot right about where Baylor has the ball hit off the heel of his glove. Willie Horton in yesterday's ballgame started after a line drive over his head, fell down on the wet spot, and it cost the Tigers the ball game. So as you can see, once again, with Baylor skidding around in left field, a little bit soft in that area.
They have given Jota a double. Mickey Stanley, the batter. A ball to him. Stanley hitting .238, 6 homers. He's driven in 23 runs. Runner on second, nobody out. One ball, one strike.
McNally trying to keep that breaking ball down and inside to Stanley. He wants him to hit the ground ball to the right side of his infield to keep that runner on second base. Stanley trying to get a pitch away to hit the opposite direction.
Doing one. Trying to go to right field. 2-2 to Mickey Stanley. Ball Jota at second base, nobody out. The on-deck batter will be the shortstop, Ed Brinkman. Baylor will have room. Holding at second is Jota, and there's one away. Eddie Brinkman batting .207, 3 homers, 19 RBIs. You'll see a player choke up in the bat handle about as high as anyone in the major league. He has that little knob there to remind him not to go down lower on the bat. He's what the ball players call a punch and Judy hitter, just punches away. Runner on second. up. Going out, Johnson, the second baseman, gives way to the center fielder Blair, and they're 2 down.
Give you an idea of how shallow Blair plays. He caught that almost on the edge of the infield grass.
Mickey Lolich up. They kid Lolich about his stomach. He said, it's in the family. I don't worry about my belly. I don't worry about my pitching. Maybe if he was trim and lean, he wouldn't be such a good pitcher, Tony. Look at that silhouette from the center field camera.
He says he feels stronger when he's got a little more weight. Doesn't believe in running. He goes along with that Johnny Sane theory. I get all my work done and my muscles stretched throwing a baseball on the mound.
1-0 pitch. 1-1 to Lolich. He's not a good hitter for a pitcher. He's never hit a home run in the American League, but he hit a home run his first time at bat of the 1968 World Series. Foul into the seats. A ball and 2 strikes to Mickey Lolich. 2 outs, Paul Giada at second base.
You know, Curt, you mentioned that home run he hit in the World Series. I can still see a picture of Lolich as he crossed first base thinking it was an ordinary fly ball. He just kept going right down the right field foul line, started turning toward the dugout. He was surprised when the ball went out of the park.
He curved him for strike 3. No runs, a hit, 1 man left for the Tigers. At the end of 2, our score is 0-0. Across the letters on the inside corner for a strike. Had him leaning back.
Curt, doesn't have some kind of pitching depth in the starting pitching staff? The 4th game, an important series to have a Jim Palmer coming at you.
He's been the best pitcher on the Orioles this year. He broke his bat and popped it up to the right side. Paul Giada makes the squeeze, and there's 1 down. Mark Belanger, or Belanger, French would say. French descent, Belanger. Pittsfield, Massachusetts, hitting 175, 1 homer, 10 RBIs. He can play batting 175 because of his incredible range and glove at shortstop. A tall, willowy shortstop in the manner of Marty Marion. It's a line drive to center. It's in front of Mickey Stanley, and there's the Orioles' first base runner in their first hit. Dave McNally batting 083 coming up. We talked about Lolich's home run. McNally's hit 2 home runs in World Series competition. The only other pitcher to do that has been Bob Gibson, the Cardinals.
The Tigers will be looking for a bunt, but Earl Weaver, not a believer in playing the game straight. He'll do a lot of switching with his pitchers, even in obvious bunt situations. You'll have him try and hit the ball by that third baseman and first baseman who are charging. See what he has McNally doing.
Strike to him. Phil Jackman, one of the writers covering the Baltimore team, has been keeping statistics on bunts. And he was telling me today, Tony, that the Orioles have attempted 55 sacrifice bunts. 19 of them have been successful.
That's a very poor percentage. Pitchers spend most of their time in spring training learning how to bunt properly.
1 out. Belanger at first. 1 strike to McNally. And that is an attempted bunt for strike 2. And a difficult pitch to bunt coming right in on him. Now we're having bunting on the 3rd strike.
Rodriguez has moved back just a shade at third base.
He's out. First strikeout for Lolich. 2 outs in the top of the order. Merv Rettenman hitting 244. Lolich by the way, leads the American League in strikeouts this year. He now has struck out 118. He led the major leagues in strikeout last year with 308, which was a new Detroit Tiger club record.
Good chance to see Lolich fingering the ball, getting the feel of it behind his back.
Foul away, strike one. Lolich has averaged 7 strikeouts every 9 innings this year.
Rettenman, a very nervous hitter. I tell you as a youngster to keep that bat steady. Watch him and all the gyrations he goes through about his right ear. He's getting ready for the pitch. Really wiggles the bat around.
They have no score. We're in the 3rd inning. Runner on first, 2 down. And the curve is in. 0-2 to Rettenman. Paul Jada holding against Belanger. The first base umpire, Bill Deegan, right in back of him.
Not his best move. Lolich with an excellent move to first base. A little bit of a decoy move. See if he can entice Belanger to get off a little bit farther.
A ball and 2 strikes. These two teams will not meet again until September. This is already their 4th series of the year. They're getting it done early. Baltimore has beaten the Tigers 7 out of 10 so far. They've won each of the previous 3 series. Last year, the Tigers won 10 out of 18. A runner going and is fouled away. They have the hit and run on. Belanger going back to first, and the count is still 1 ball, 2 strikes to Merv Rettenman.
Chance on this shot as you look over Lolich's head to see why the hitters like to hit in this ballpark, along with his short dimensions in right and left center. Look at that dark background. Ball coming out of the black. See the ball perfectly, unlike some ballparks where you have people sitting with white shirts.
Looking out on the fastball. Lolich struck out 2 that inning. And the Orioles had no runs, 1 hit, there were no errors, and 1 left. We've gone 2.5 innings here at Tiger Stadium, and it is still 0-0. For the Tigers in the last of the 4th, it'll be Bill Freehan, Willie Horton, and Paul Jada. Freehan single to center, his first time, batting .283. The Red Sox lead Milwaukee 4-2 at the end of 2. Cleveland and New York tied 1-1 at the end of 4. Minnesota, Chicago, no score at the end of an inning and a half. Texas and Kansas City, no score, end of 2. Oakland plays at California tonight. Check swing for a ball. In the National League, Ferguson Jenkins for the Cubs, Bob Moose for the Pirates. 1-0 Chicago at the end of 3.5. The Dodgers and the Giants have not started yet. 4 night games in the National League. That's a base hit with a half swing. Freehan stops at first. There was a high curve that fooled Freehan. He didn't want to swing, but he went halfway through and got a base hit.
You have to be exceptionally strong to do what Freehan just did. He had really committed himself, fooled completely on the breaking ball, the changeup, way out in front, yet he could hold his bat long enough after he had started it to get enough wind on it to really hit it pretty hard past Robinson.
Those night games in the National League, the Cardinals and the Phillies play 2 at Philadelphia, New York at Montreal, Atlanta at Houston, and Cincinnati at San Diego. Willie Horton fly to right field in the first inning. McNally drops the curve in for a strike. Each team has 3 hits. 0-0 game. Freehan on first and nobody out.
Willie Horton really sets back on that right leg. Has almost all of his weight back, then shifts it as he goes into his swing.
Rich up, down to second. One, back to third, wide. McNally saves it from going up against the feet. Willie Horton trying to hit behind the runner. Wraps into a force play.
That probably is one of the most difficult plays for a shortstop. Let's watch Freehan getting the jump. Gritch backhanding the ball nicely, giving the throw to the inside of the bag to Belanger. And now Belanger has to do something very difficult. Hit a moving target like a quarterback leading that swift split end as McNally comes over. Ball not in time. McNally saved it from going into the dugout.
Paul Giada had a double off Don Baylor's glove in left field his first time. They've been utilizing him as a catcher, first baseman, outfielder. Sends a fly ball to right fielder Rettman. And makes it 2 outs. And brings up Stanley, who flied to left his first time, with Willie Horton at first.
These hitters going after these first pitches. They know Lolich and McNally like to get ahead. They like to throw strikes. Hitters going up there now, really going after the first pitch.
Looking at a man who has won 87 games the last 4 years going into this season. To tie him with Ferguson Jenkins for the most victories in the major leagues during that span. A ball to Stanley. And you know, he won 21 games last year, despite being on the disabled list for almost a month. He could have had a 25-game season with some good health. He didn't make an appearance for about 5 weeks and still won over 20. 1-1. He started only 30 games during the year and won 21. Amazing efficiency pitching by Dave McNally. Ground ball. Old Brooksy scoops it up and goes over. He still does it. The human vacuum. No runs, a hit. 1 man left at the end of 4. 0-0. Dave Johnson, Andy Etchebarren, and Mark Belanger for the Orioles in the top of the 5th inning. Johnson grounded to short his first time. 0-1 to him. Lolich and McNally don't mess around on that mound. They throw strikes. They make a ball game move. They talk about speeding up baseball. Here are the men that can speed it up, the pitcher. Instead of dawdling around, staring in, getting off, hitters backing out. Pitcher has the speed of the game in his hands. 1-1.
A lot of pitchers will do when they get 2 quick strikes in the hitter. They'll fool around, try and waste a pitch in the dirt, throw it over his head, pitches that a big league player doesn't usually swing at. Not McNally and Lolich. They come back in there with that 3rd pitch, a strike, their best stuff on it.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Dave Johnson.
Long run in the course of a ball game. It's the difference between throwing 150 pitches in a game when you're 3-2 in a lot of hitters, or 100, 120.
Fly ball to right field. Al Kaline settling under it, and 1 down. The next batter for the Orioles will be Andy Etchebarren, who popped up his first time, hitting 183. He's of Basque descent.
Somewhere in Spain, Basque? No?
I think so.
Checking out your geography.
Not too good, is it? No runs, 3 hits for the Orioles. No runs, 3 hits for the Tigers. In the top of the 5th inning, the Orioles have 1 out, nobody on. 1-0. Many other stories about Lolich, aside from his stomach, is motorcycle riding. He likes to come into the ballpark on his motorbike. Line foul. 1-1. hit up the middle. Puts Etchebarren on. Makes a big turn there. Scrambles back. 4 hits. All singles for the Orioles. And Belanger moves in. He's single to center in the 3rd inning.
There's a man at the plate that I believe could be helped. The base runners were started a little bit more in front of him, Curt. Belanger needs to have those infielders. He's not a powerful hitter. He's got to have those infielders moving around, covering a base where he can find some holes.
Etchebarren's the runner at first, 1 down. Lolich a bit outside with that one, the ball. These 2 teams will play again tomorrow here, and then the 4th game of the series Monday night will be on NBC television at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. The game is a complete sellout. It'll be over 50,000 here Monday night, and you'll see it on NBC. There's a high fly to Stanley in shallow straightaway center. 2 away. And McNally, the Oriole pitcher, coming up. McNally struck out his first time. A ball.
A lot of third base coaches very adept at stealing the pitches. You see Lolich fingering the ball. Many coaches can pick up by the way he's holding it across with the seams as to what the pitch is going to be.
1-1 to McNally. In that shot, you saw the ball behind the bag. Now and then you saw Billy Hunter's arm swinging. He's intercepted our third base camera shot of Lolich. He's looking at for the same thing as we were. Two and one. 2 outs. Etchebarren at first. With Jota playing off the bag, not expecting Etchebarren to go. Foul away.
Billy Hunter, a pretty good defensive shortstop his day. Wasn't much with the bat.
That's a 3-2 count to Dave McNally. Lolich has not come close to walking a man. McNally's walked 1. That was in the first inning. Lolich has had good control too this year, walking 2.3 men every 9 innings. Runner going, and there's a high pop-up. Third baseman Rodriguez calling for it. And that puts the Orioles away in the 5th. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left. We're halfway through this Tiger-Oriole game, and it is still 0-0. That'll be Saturday, July 8th. Ed Brinkman starts it off for the Tigers in the last of the 5th. There's a fly ball in right center. Blair back for it. Look how quickly he gets back there. He was playing very shallow, and yet that wasn't even a difficult chance for him, with the wind carrying the ball back almost to the warning track in right center.
Here goes Paul Blair again in pursuit of that Brinkman fly ball at deep right center field. Very graceful. One of the tops in his position in the big leagues.
Mickey Lolich struck out his first time. I want to see if we can get our cameras on Blair again. The strike. Look where he's playing, Tony, against Lolich. Look how shallow he is out there.
And the center field here in Tiger Stadium, 440 feet. So he's got a long ways to go back, and the ball hit over his head.
Curve to Lolich for the third year in a row and the 4th time in the last 5 years, Paul Blair was a Gold Glove winner for outstanding defensive ability. Chops a foul. It's still 2 strikes to Mickey Lolich. Well, this one is as advertised, with McNally and Lolich going again. There's Blair in center field. And you can see the 440 behind him. It's a lot farther than it looks on this camera angle. Ball 1, strike 2. 25 game winner Lolich, 21 game winner McNally. Both brilliant today. And wearing the hitters on their watch chain. What a swing. The on-deck batter is Tony Taylor at the top of the order. Lolich putting on a pretty good show there on the tape. 2-2. 1 out, nobody on. Crowd roars as he hits a fly ball out to Rettman deep. 2 outs. And Tony Taylor, who's grounded twice to the infield's coming up. 0-0 in the last of the 5th inning at Tiger Stadium.
Give you a chance to show you how Lolich fingers the ball behind his back. The style of delivery of McNally a little bit different. He keeps that ball in his glove most of the time. Keeps both hands together. Uses that big glove to conceal the ball from the hitter and those 2 coaches in the middle that may be on the bench. Get him conceal the ball.
And he's facing Tony Taylor, who was born in Cuba, lives now in Yeadon, Pennsylvania. The strike. This is Tony's 15th year in the major leagues. He started with the Cubs back in 1958. 2 years with the Cubs, 11 with the Phillies, part of a 12. Ball, he's been a very handy man. During his career, he's played all 4 infield positions and also played the outfield in the major league. And he's up with 2 out, nobody on, and no score. A 1-1 pitch coming to him. That was a high curve that hit in the center field. Bad pitch by McNally. Each team has had 4 hits. Taylor at first, 2 outs. The way these 2 pitchers are going, these clubs are going to have to work for something, Tony, unless somebody hits one. Put a steal on or something. Rodriguez has grounded to short and flied to center.
Look at the size of that lead that Taylor's got. He's daring McNally to throw over to first base.
Curve strike to Rodriguez. Taylor is still an excellent base runner, but the Tigers just don't steal much. They're last in the majors in stolen bases. They've stolen only 5 bases in 64 games. 1 strike to Rodriguez. There he goes. Pitch out. Throw. He's in there.
What a jump and what a lead that Taylor had off McNally. The pitch out was on Etchebarren. Somebody stole the sign. Throw a little bit off target, but I don't think he'd have had Taylor anyway. And Curt, you're wondering, we talked about managers in our show before the ball game. If Earl Weaver doesn't have the signs of Billy Martin. So Schultz, the third base coach.
Well, if he does, he's not talking. Rodriguez has grounded out and flied out. And now has a count of 1-1 on him. Taylor at second. 2 outs. We've had only 1 man the third in this game, and the Tigers at K-line at third, 3 and a first to 2 outs in the first. The Tigers have had more chances. Tony Taylor at second. He has 3 of the 6 steals now for the Tigers all year. The 2-1 pitch to Aurelio Rodriguez. 3-1. In fact, just carrying the stolen base thing a bit further, every other player in the Detroit lineup today has not stolen a base. 3 balls, 1 strike.
This is not what you'd expect of a Billy Martin team. You'd expect him to have a bunch of real hit-and-run men and base stealers.
See what he does with his 3-1 pitch to Rodriguez. Curve or a fastball. Fastball popped up. Coming on is Rettenman. Dave Johnson's there, and Johnson takes it. Tigers are out. No runs. A hit, 1 left. We've gone 5 innings at Tiger Stadium. 0-0. 5 innings gone. Baltimore, no runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Tigers, no runs, 4 hits, no errors. Rettenman, Grich, and Blair coming up. And now coming up is Mr. K. K is not for strikeout, but for Kubeck.
Well, there was that, too, when I was a player. Lolich on the mound. No score in the ball game in the top of the 6th. The real pitchers duel, Lolich versus McNally. Something you would expect with 2 20-game winners on the mound. Both have been pouring the strikes in, usually getting ahead of the hitters. Too high for a ball. Merv Rettenman with a ground out and a strikeout in the 3rd. He was robbed of a hit when Rodriguez made a fine play in the 1st inning. Called strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Rettenman, like most of these Oriole hitters, struggling along. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Orioles, as Curt mentioned early in the telecast, the lowest team batting average in the major leagues. Two ball, 1 strike pitch. Rettenman fouls it out of play, 2-2. About 40,000 people here in Tiger Stadium, Detroit, for an important series. These 2 teams won't meet again until September. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball deep to center field. Stanley drifting back. Glasses down. He has it for the first out in the 6th. Well, they say behind every successful man there's a great woman. That's Mrs. Billy Martin, Gretchen Martin. We saw the son of Billy and Gretchen early in the ball game talking with Curt, 7.5-year-old Billy Joe. Bobby Grich takes the ball. You know, I was talking to Gretchen before the ball game, Curt, and asked her, when Billy comes home after a game like last night where he lost 3-2 and the Tigers blew it, you know, what do you say to him? She said, absolutely nothing. Fouled off out of play, 1-1.
Good strategy.
He said, we have an understanding. When he comes home, especially after a loss, we talk about dinner, what we're doing later, what we're doing tomorrow, not baseball. Bobby Grich, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. No score, top of the 6th. Lolich versus McNally. Slow curve, too high, 2-1. Ground ball, Rodriguez, great backhand stop, over to first base Machado for the 2nd out. Fine play by Aurelio Rodriguez.
That's the play of the ball game. Quick reflexes. Why they call this youngster, outside of Robinson, the best defensive player at 3rd in the league. Either do or you don't down there at 3rd on balls hit like that.
What a player. He hasn't hit like the Tigers expect him to, but he's still got a lot of years ahead of him. Paul Blair up with 2 down. Blair lines it down the left field line. Horton over on 1 hop. He'll hold Blair to a single. So now the Orioles have 1 on in the 6th inning with 2 out. Blair, a good base stealer with Baylor at the bat. Don Baylor, 1 for 2, singled to left field and was robbed of a hit in the second inning by Rodriguez when he came on charging hard. Lolich with a good move to first base. Baylor lines this one. Hard to Rodriguez, over to Taylor for the force out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. And so in the middle of the 6th inning of play here in Tiger Stadium, still no score.
Here's that play off the bat of Bobby Grich. Across the body stab by Rodriguez. Breaks himself, a long throw. And that's been the outstanding defensive play of the game as we go down to the last of the 6th inning.
Al Kaline to face Dave McNally with no score. Kaline was after the high breaking ball. You know, Curt, I think Rodriguez goes better to his right than Brooks does. I don't think he ranges as far to his left, but he's got good range to his right. He almost went to the foul line for that play. Kaline takes it 1-1.
I don't think there's a doubt that Brooks goes to his left better than he does his right. In fact, he protects himself a bit. Playing the line closer than he might, knowing that he's all right to his left.
Kaline lashes it foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs.
And then again, I don't know. Those World Series that he played against, those games against the Reds. Incredible lunging drives. He even caught a couple of balls lunging in the foul territory. Those lightning reflexes. Here's a man that's not fast. He's slow of foot, but he moves with his hands, eyes, and feet quickly.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2. Last of the 6th. Bill Freehan on deck for the Tigers to follow Kaline. No score. Mickey Lolich, Dave McNally. Kaline fouls it off.
I don't know whether the bullpen activity means anything. Dave Leonard and Mickey Scott, a left-hander warming up for the Orioles. It might be because of McNally's condition, or they just may be tuning up for something in the future.
As we mentioned earlier, McNally missed a start this week with some muscle spasms in his back. The count goes full, 3-2 to Kaline.
Earl Weaver is saying that his poor bullpen members don't get any work with the great starting 4 he has. I feel sorry for him. They all pitch about once every 10 days.
Pop-up in foul territory. The wind may push it out of play. Rich over, out of play.
Speaking of the wind, Tony, let's take a look at the flag. It's really freshened up now. Wind blowing very hard from 3rd to 1st. Balls hit in the air to right field toward the stands. Will now be given a boost.
Sure, both managers late in the ballgame would like to see some of those left-handed pinch hitters come up, get that ball in the wind to right field, take advantage of the wind. 3-2 pitch to Kaline. Well, fly ball to left field. Baylor drifting back. Home run for Kaline. Number 3 for Kaline on the year, 369 lifetime. McNally with a 3-2 count tried to sneak the fastball by the veteran Kaline, and he hit it into the teeth of that wind, blowing in from left field to put the Tigers ahead 1-0 in the 6th. Brings up Bill Freehan. Ball strike. Well, Curt, they say Kaline's getting old, and you saw Ted Williams at the end of his career, but you still can't sneak those fastballs by those great hitters. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Here's the ball now, just dropping over the fence in left field, and that wind held it up, or it might have been farther back into the stand. Baylor's given up on it.
1-1 count to Freehan. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Billy Martin said that Kaline has only so many games in him this year at his age, and that's why he's conserving him and trying to play him in big ball games, and also he'll be fresh and ready for the last part of the season if the race is still this close.
2 balls, 1 strike, no outs. 3-1. Tigers 1, Baltimore nothing. Last to the 6th. But did not get all of it. Baylor now drifts in as the wind holds it up. 1 down to the 6th. That'll bring up Willie Horton. Leonard and Scott continue to throw for Earl Weaver. Horton tapped very early in his minor league career, or rather before his career, as he flies this from the center field. Blair drifts under it. He was scouted by these Tigers scouts at the age of 14 and tabbed as a major league prospect. Out number 2 brings up Paul Jada.
We've had 8 putouts by the center fielders today, 4 on each team.
Jada doubled back in the 2nd. Takes a strike from McNally. One to nothing on the strength of an Al Kaline home run, leading off this inning. 2 strikes, foul. The left-hander Scott, the right-hander Alexander. Number 13, if you're superstitious. One ball, 2 strikes to Jada. Mickey Stanley, the on-deck hitter, should Jada get on base. Too high, 2-2. McNally with just the 1 mistake. A high fastball to Kaline. Line drive foul. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Last to the 6th. 1-0 Tigers. Checks his swing, 3-2. And now McNally has lost that touch with the control, Curt. He's throwing a lot more pitches. 3-2 pitch. Too low, ball 4. So Jada's on base. Base on balls number 2 given up by McNally. Brings up Mickey Stanley. Unlike Mickey Lolich, does not have a very good move to first base. But he does have a deceptive move. When he goes toward home plate, he kind of kicks his leg in the direction of first. And it looks like he's going to throw there. Gets you leaning back, then he goes home. Stanley takes the ball. To Johnson for the 3rd out. 1 run, 1 hit, an Al Kaline home run. No errors, 1 man left on base. And so at the end of 6 complete innings of play here in Tiger Stadium, it's Detroit 1.
Brooks Robinson leading off in the 7th inning. A strike to him. He's grounded to short and he's flied to right. Charlie Passerelle is the tennis player's name. Want to shake the world apart. It pitches inside. Ball one, strike one. Robinson, Johnson, and Etchebarren. As we got a good Major League Baseball game going here today. 1-0. Tigers leading. Foul back. The battle for first place in the American League East in this series. Lolich has not walked a man. He has struck out 2. He's given up 5 scattered singles. The foul, 1-2 to Brooks Robinson. Oh, he's throwing strikes today, ladies and gentlemen. The only time he's reached 3 balls on a count was to his mound opponent, Dave McNally, in the 5th inning. 1-2 pitch. 2-2 now.
His fastball is getting even more lively than it was in the first inning. You can see it's moving more. He started that one about a foot inside to Brooks Robinson. The ball came back and almost into the strike zone.
It's a fair ball. Aurelio Rodriguez with a long pitch. And down. Let's see. He has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chances.
3 of those 5
6 chances. 6 chances for him.
3 tough ones. 2 little toppers that he had to really charge hard. And then, of course, the great backhanded stop he made an inning ago. Rob Rich.
Dave Johnson grounded to short and flying to right. 0 for 2. 1-0. Detroit leading Baltimore. Pop up to the right side to Paul Jota, the first baseman. Over in foul ground, has it. Makes it 2 away. Brings up Etchebarren, who's popped up and single. In the American League, at the end of 4 innings, the Red Sox lead Milwaukee 5-2. Ben Ogilvy, a young Red Sox outfielder, hit 2 homers in that game. Yankees over Cleveland 4-1 at the end of 6. White Sox lead Minnesota 1-0 at the end of 4½. Texas and Kansas City, no score at the end of 5. Oakland and California will be playing tonight. We understand Eddie Casco, the Red Sox manager, has just been ejected from the game. Etchebarren, the batter. That ball is through the hole to left field. Base hit number 6 for the Orioles. And it comes with 2 out. Brings up Belanger, who is single and flying out. In the National League, the Cubs lead the Pirates 1-0 at the end of 5½. Ferguson Jenkins against Bob Moose. The Dodgers and the Giants have not started. St. Louis at Philadelphia in a twilight doubleheader. New York at Montreal, Atlanta at Houston, Cincinnati at San Diego, all tonight. Two down. Strike one. We're talking about the Cardinals. Right now, to me, they're the story in the major leagues, Tony. They got off to a horrible start, and suddenly they caught fire. They have won 10 of their last 11 games. They have won 18 of their last 23 games. They were about 14.5 games out, and now, very quietly, they have moved to within 7 games of the league-leading Pirates. A ball. What we thought could be a 3-team race in the National League East might wind up into a 4-team race.
Well, you had to believe when you look at the lineup that the Cardinals were going to be a good hitting team with Torrey, Alou, Simmons, Sizemore, etc. But now Shaney's has his pitching staff straightened out.
What a stop by Ed Brinkman. That ball was smashed at him on that skidding hop, and he handled it beautifully with a final out of the top of the 7th. Watch this stop here now.
Ball not hit too far to Brinkman's right, but hit like a bullet. Once again, defense proving an important part of this crucial series here.
How many times when a man makes a great play in the field does he come in and lead off at bat? Before Brinkman leads off the last of the 7th, the score, the Tigers 1, Baltimore 0. Ed Brinkman leading off in the last of the 7th, fly to center field twice. The All-Star game will be seen on NBC television from Atlanta, Georgia, the night of July 25th, a Tuesday night. Over 50 million watched the game via television last year. Strike 2. have been dynamic in that infield. On the left side, Brinkman and Rodriguez. A trade that has put the Tigers into contention, getting Coleman, Rodriguez, and Coleman all in one swoop from the Washington Senators. And all on the young side. 1-2 pitch. All the way. Lolich will be up next. He'll get a enthusiastic hand when he steps in. Hit to Robinson. Up with it. One down. The theme today for Brooks Robinson, Aurelio Rodriguez, they shall not pass. Here's the hand for Lolich, who's pitched a shutout so far.
Well, Lolich is walking, and I've got to ask you something. Were you really state champ in tennis in Wyoming?
That's a rumor I will not dispel. That was my favorite sport. That's a great game. That's a game that all athletes should play to help themselves in their own sport. Baseball players should play it, football players. Strike, stamina, stretching, quickness of feet, endurance, back and forth, up and down, coordination, everything. Look at that. A bloody blow.
He served it to right field.
Tigers have Lolich at first, one down, and now we go to the head of their batting order, and Tony Taylor, who has one hit in 3 times.
Rich at first base signaling his pitcher McNally that he is going to be playing behind Lolich. They do not expect him to steal a base, trying to protect that hole. Taylor goes to right field well.
Base hit up the middle. Lolich is stopping at second. And the Tigers have runners on first and second. The Oriole bullpen has Rorik Henderson warming up. Rorik Harrison warming up. Tigers ahead 1-0. The runners on first and second, one out. And here's the man who has sparkled defensively in this game today, Aurelio Rodriguez. Alexander now is up throwing in the Oriole bullpen. Ball 1. I want you to take a look at first and watch the lead Tony Taylor's getting with Bobby Grich playing off the bag.
You better believe Etchebarren knows it and sees it. He wants to prevent that double play, Taylor does, getting a good lead to upset that man at second base. I'd be surprised to see a pitch out and a quick snap throw by Etchebarren to Grich.
There it is. Close.
Quick count play that they had on. There's been a sign given by Etchebarren as he was flashing his signals. He was actually doing the counting for McNally.
Bad pitch, low and inside on him. 1-1. A fella has to help Taylor down at first as the first base coach in this situation. That's Dick Kozuski. He has to keep Taylor alert about Grich sneaking in back of him.
See what a vulnerable position he puts himself in. He's watching that man sneaking behind him, not even seeing a foul ball that might be at his direction off the bat.
That is hit out in the air to Merv Rettman in right field. Tagging at second is Lolich. And he's coming. And the throw, they don't throw to third. It was cut off by Belanger. Belanger had the ball. And punchy Mickey Lolich tags and goes to third and gets a big hand.
Retman looked like he made a pretty good throw. Let's watch it again. Lolich, not known for his daring on the base pass. Belanger cutting the ball off. Belanger cut it off. It may have been offline to the left a little bit. Took a quick look, saw that Lolich was in his slide, decided not to make the play. Now added pressure being put on this Orioles defense with that runner down on third base where he can score on an infield error, a balk, a wild pitch, a pass ball.
Curt Gowdy and Tony Kubeck. LK lineup has walked, flied out, and hit a home run for the only run of this game in the 6th inning, leading off. Now he's up with runners on first and third. 2 down. 1-0 Detroit. Fly ball in the right field. Retman ranging in front of it and has it to retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. 7 innings gone. 1-0 Detroit.